Jesus gives a light. A consolidation of ecclesiastical organizations. What is truth? November 28, 1963. Message 8687 from Jesus through Bertha Dudde. Spoken by Pascal. As long as the people cannot bring themselves to purify Christian doctrine of all human additions, as long as not every denomination has the sincere will to stand in the fullest truth and does not eradicate every error, there will be no unity among the churches. For only in pure truth can the various denominations come together, and then they will be united. However, no denomination is willing to relinquish any part of its spiritual heritage, and, for the most part, they insist precisely on the false teachings, for they are incapable of discerning the truth on their own, as long as they rely solely on their intellect. And what is striking is that no spiritual movement itself advocates for the working of the Spirit, the working of God within man, nor do any of them recognize the knowledge gained solely from this path. Rather, they consider valuable only that which human reason has produced, and they are unable to part with it. Thus, the hallmark of the church that I myself founded on earth is rarely found as proof of the credibility and truth of what is proclaimed. It is precisely that which guarantees the truth that is lacking in ecclesiastical organizations. Otherwise, everyone would find themselves in the same truth, and all discord would be eliminated. And so, much to the sorrow of mankind, it must be noted that pure truth is no longer to be found anywhere where one hopes to receive spiritual knowledge. It must be said that only a faint thread runs through everything when the commandments of love for God and neighbor are taught. That this faintly glowing body of teaching could indeed be fully sufficient to make the truth accessible to the people, because obeying these commandments of love guarantees God's working within man, and thereby he is instructed from within, and is thus quite capable of distinguishing between truth and error. But only the doctrine of love has been preserved as divine teaching, and therefore every person has the opportunity to walk in the truth, provided they follow it. Then they will also know that everything else is the work of men, which leads only to erroneous notions, that these are merely earthly forms of what God requires of a person in a spiritual sense. But the people lack the will to carry out a complete purification of the edifice they themselves erected in a state of spiritual blindness. No spiritual movement departs from its teachings and precepts, and each one remains a purely worldly affair, as long as it outwardly upholds customs and actions that can only be regarded as symbols lacking the proper interpretation. And yet, all are fully convinced of the truth of their own spiritual movement, and that is precisely the calamity, for thereby they confess their loveless disposition, which prevents them from recognizing the truth, as well as their indifference and their irresponsibility towards their own souls. For every person who lives in love will value the truth too highly to fail to earnestly ascertain whether or not he indeed stands in the truth, and even a sincere question and request for this would bring them the light of knowledge. But where, in those circles where the people have joined forces with leaders who have taken upon themselves and are exercising a teaching role, can doubts concerning the truth be found? Where indeed can a sincere desire for the truth still be found? Why does no one raise the most important question? What is truth? Do I myself possess it? Everyone defends with a certain stubbornness what they themselves have adopted, and they do not take a stand on it of their own accord. They believe themselves to be pious when they accept, without question, everything that has been conveyed to them by other people. They shirk all personal responsibility. They allow neither their own intellect nor their heart to examine the truthfulness of what they are expected to advocate. He himself sins against the Spirit, for the Spirit is within him, and it only wishes to be awakened through love, so that it may then express itself, and truly, in such a way that it grows bright and clear within him, so that he may become truly wise. For he is permitted to receive the light from me, granting him the brightest insight. But why are there so few people who see things in this light of knowledge? Why do most people cling to a body of spiritual teachings that is so flimsy when subjected to serious scrutiny? Why are the people content with teachings that truly did not come from me? And why do they not accept the precious spiritual heritage from my hand, which anyone who is earnestly concerned with possessing the pure truth may request and receive, and who, by living a life of love according to my will, can also connect with me, to be instructed by me directly? Yet all of you humans lack the knowledge of the workings of my spirit within man. That alone is proof that you have not been and are not being properly instructed, that even the teachers lack this knowledge, and that they were therefore not appointed by me to their teaching office. For whomever I commission to be a teacher to his fellow men, I truly endow with the correct body of teaching. But this is lacking in you who believe yourselves called to lead your spiritual movement or denomination, and wish to be regarded as guides. You have not been called by me, and you will never be able to lead your fellow men into the truth, because you do not possess it and do nothing to acquire it. And therefore, pay attention to what I tell you. Only where the work of my Spirit is evident in the people is the true church that I myself have founded on earth, and this cannot be recognized from outside. It encompasses members from all the various church communities, from different spiritual traditions, for they stand in living faith, which they have gained through a life of love. And they will know that my church does not present itself outwardly, but instead guarantees the most intimate bond with me. To her I then impart the truth, a clear understanding in the spiritual realm, which is lacking in all those who do not belong to this church of mine, who are unable to separate themselves from erroneous spiritual teachings that could never have originated from me, but are rather human additions, originating from my adversary. He will always oppose the truth, and yet he will never be acknowledged by those who devote themselves to me in love and faith. And so you will come to understand that unity among Christian denominations will never be achieved, because each one will insist on the doctrines it has held until now, and that the disputes among all denominations are always only about false spiritual teachings, and each one is anxiously striving to defend these false doctrines, because they do not want to give them up. Yet only the truth will lead to salvation, and only those who earnestly desire this truth will also receive it, provided they take the path directly to me and earnestly ask me for it. Amen.